podcast with Amanda, Shandy, and Colleen. My name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is season 7, episode 38, episode number 308. How is it going?
Good.
Happy Tax Day.
Happy
to those
Tax
who
Day.
Celebrate. As we were mentioning just before we started recording, tonight we are talking about Everything Everywhere All at Once, and what a better movie to talk about, inadvertently talk about on Tax Day than this movie, which centers around taxes.
I know. And I love that we didn't even intentionally do this. It just the universe made it so. And I love it universe for that. Yeah.
The universe. Oh,
So, yeah.
Speaking of, you just reminded me. So I went back to therapy starting today, and it was that first session where you talk a lot about yourself so they can kind of figure out just what level of crazy you're at. And at one point she said to me, she goes, or maybe the universe is telling you this. I'm a big universe person. And I was like, oh, I think we're going to get along really well. Me too. But anyway.
I am too.
Happy Tax Day. After starting them in February, then abandoning them for 2 months, went back to them on Saturday the 15th. Literally woke up at 5 a.m. that day in a panic, oh my God, you have to get these done. I knew we were going to owe, and I just didn't want to deal with it, but I was still optimistic that maybe we wouldn't owe. And at first we owed a lot. And then thankfully, thanks to deductions, I was able to get it down to only owing a little bit. And I'm getting a refund from the state, which almost never happens. So
interesting.
That's crazy.
You could get have to pay on one and get refunded.
Oh yeah.
So
you can have all manner of combinations.
Yeah, I did it very simple. So I just never know. I don't know the wide world of taxes.
Literally, I did not know that either. And so I was very nervous. But apparently because we do the now we have to do the self-employed version with the Geek Dead Life stuff. And apparently there's stuff that you can write off for small businesses for your state level that doesn't count towards federal taxes.
Okay.
Yeah. That makes
so
sense.
That's how we ended up getting the state refund over the federal refund. So, I think we're going to get, I think it's a grand total of the difference between what we get back and what we owe is we're going to net $134 whole dollars that I'm sure I will pay taxes next year.
In the grand scheme of things, that's not so bad.
That's what I said. I was like, look, before I put in everything, we owed a lot of money and I was flipping out. So at least I'm glad that we got where we did.
Yeah, but a week of groceries.
Exactly.
This is America.
Or as I put it, as long as they deposit it by next Friday, we can use that for our anniversary dinner on Saturday. Mama's getting a second glass of wine courtesy of the state, baby.
Woo! Live it up.
But no, I used the TurboTax help to the fullest. I was so nervous that I was doing things wrong and all the receipts and blah, blah, blah. I talked to the accountants no fewer than 5 or 6 times, had them call me and spend time on the phone with each one. Because we had the high deductible HSA last year and we had to end up contributing to it. And the amount we contributed wasn't on the 1099 SA statement thingy they sent us, but when I logged into the old account, that was clearly there. So I called them about that. I was like, I have proof that we put in money, but it's not on the tax statement. And if I do this and it's different, is that going to ding me for an audit? And they were like, as long as you can back it up. And I was like, okay, because I put in a lot. We had to put in a lot of our own money because Zachary's fucking dentist bills that I've talked about.
I know.
Which I purposely loaded onto that card because I needed to have a paper trail.
Right.
Because if I just paid it out of pocket, it wouldn't have counted because I had to pay for their Tamiflu out of pocket after Jay got laid off or whatever, and I had to pay the Tamiflu out of pocket because they stopped loading the card and it was changing over. So I didn't know what to put it on, and I was not able to write off the $120 $12 worth of Tamiflu, which whatever. But still, I'm glad that the other stuff I had a paper trail for. So,
dude, how do people know these things? I don't understand.
I wouldn't have known. Yeah,
I Googled it when I knew that we were going to owe more than what was like the balance or whatever that was on the HSA card. I Googled it. Is it better to load the card or pay out of pocket? And all of the results were like, put it on the card because you can write it off if it comes out of the HSA account. So, yeah, good times.
Cool.
Nice. Oh, well, I'm impressed.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Dr. Google, or Taxes Google. And then I decided today that maybe I missed my calling as an accountant because I'm very good with numbers.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Well.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God.
Perhaps now's an opportunity.
That's what Jay said. He's like, you could always go back to school. And I was like, I don't want to go back to school.
But you
really could.
I could.
I feel like this time of year, accountants have like no free time, but you also probably make enough money where like you don't have to work the rest of the year. In fact, I actually know like Daniel's accountant, I think is like that. Like works tax season. He's kind of like a semi-retired. And then he kind of takes the rest of the year off and just like pals around in like Colorado or something.
Well, I got the idea because the fourth accountant I talked to, the second to last one today, was telling me about how she, just basically does shit like the freelancing for Intuit, TurboTax this time of year. And she just does it from home and, lives her best life. And she was an older lady. They've all been very nice. One of them wasn't very helpful, but everybody else was very nice. So
I don't know. I think we found a new career path for you. Just something to consider. Don't write it off just yet.
Oh,
you can write it off on your taxes.
I see what you did there. Like I could write off educational expenses.
There you go. I like this look for you. I think it's a possibility.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, yes, I'm very glad that they're done.
Yeah,
I'm very glad that they're done because it was weighing on me. It took me I probably overthought it. But ever since I messed up that year Alex was born, and then we got dinged with that bill and had to pay.
Ugh. Yeah.
Because I did my taxes on February 28th, 19 days after I gave birth, and that was a mistake.
No, you shouldn't do anything at all.
I know.
Especially with numbers, particularly with numbers.
I know. So whatever, it's fine. It's all done. Knock on wood. The end. How are you guys? How was Eden's birthday party? The cupcakes looked spectacular.
Oh my God, it was so fun. It was very touch and go. The weather here was not looking good, so we were like, well, maybe we could have it in the apartment. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll sort of see. But then it was like, it's just going to be cloudy, but it's not going to rain until after 2. So we're like, great. Keeping it in the park, see y'all there. And then not only did it not rain, but like the sun came out and it was like an absolutely beautiful day. And it was like then a beautiful weekend. Like the rain stayed away like the whole weekend. So it was, it was really nice. Basically everyone who said they were going to come came, and
that's what she said.
Yeah. Eden was very excited, some friends we haven't seen in a while, like people sort of drove in with their kids, and it was just like, it was really a lot of fun. Yeah, some of Eden's daycare friends showed up. Her very best friend from daycare showed up, and like her face was just utterly priceless. She was like playing, and then all of a sudden she like saw her friend, and she's like, "Oh, you're here!
Oh my God, that's so cute!"
Her first pictures of them like hugging and like very, very cute. So yeah, this is like this other little kid. They started as babies together. Yeah. So like this like OG bestie.
Oh.
So it was very, very cute. And yeah, I had a Pinterest win with the cupcake. So very exciting. Big shout out to Daniel who helped do the base coat of frosting.
Nice.
It was like, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, the night before, making snacks and frosting cupcakes. And after like a busy week, I was like, you know what? This is the most fun I've had all day. It was actually really enjoyable. It turns out I like doing this kind of stuff. So yeah. Speaking of Miss Colleen.
Miss Colleen, another opportunity, a second
Another
career.
opportunity.
That's awesome. I don't you love when they start to recognize that like she's used to seeing that kid from daycare, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh my God, you exist outside of that world."
You're at my party to play with me.
Aw.
Yeah, you're in my world now.
Yeah, it was
I
very
love that
sweet.
so much.
Yeah, lots of
Oh
little
my
kid hugs. One meltdown. It was great.
Good, good. Only one. Fantastic.
Only one. She birthdayed a little too hard and just kind of lost herself for a minute, but she's okay.
Well, you know, that happens to the best of us. That
I
happens.
know. She was just
All
having
that
too good of
sugar,
a time,
man.
crashed very hard, got a second wind. She was fine.
Excellent. Excellent. Yay.
Nice. Oh.
Shandy, happy 17th wedding anniversary.
Thank you.
Gosh, that's amazing.
So,
Can't
are you a
believe
tax day wedding person?
Like I'm an OG tax day wedding.
Okay.
Yeah. Before
Like,
they
yeah.
changed it to like, you know.
Well, I was listening to the Daily today, and they were talking about why sometimes it's the 15th and sometimes it's the 18th.
It's like the weekend.
It's
right?
it's actually a very informative episode. It's also infuriating because, you know, Republicans suck, but like that
That's
part was
given.
very interesting. It's based on when holidays fall and when the weekend falls. Like there's actually like and
Interesting.
once in a while it's based on if there's technical difficulties in the IRS and they can't actually accept everybody's electronic returns, so they push
Alright.
it back. So
Interesting.
yeah, it's within the first like 3 minutes of the episode too. It was very interesting.
Very interesting. But
Yeah.
here's my question.
Go back and
Follow up.
listen.
This whole like, you know, after the first full moon, whatever timing is that like a new development? Because I remember growing up always like hearing like, not that I filed taxes when I was little, so maybe I was tracking this incorrectly, but I feel like it wasn't like that when we were little. It wasn't like movable, and now it feels like more recent. But again, maybe I just am wrong. I don't know. Did
I
they
always
say?
thought it was very strictly April 15th.
Yes,
but
me too.
I
as
always
they
thought it was
explained,
the 16th, but like,
No.
you know, I'm always like out to lunch, so you know.
no. So again, it has to do with.
But for how long has it had to do with that stuff?
Oh, you know, they may have mentioned it, and I may have just missed that.
Because like I feel like in my heart, I feel like that's something that's changed
Well,
in the
I
last
do-
like 10 years. But also in my mind, as I'm saying it, I'm like, well,
I
you
know for as
maybe not.
long as I know for as long as we've been doing taxes, if it fell on a weekend, it was always the Monday or Tuesday
that makes
afterward.
sense. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
So I
that
do
makes
know
sense.
that. Now I don't know. I know that in 2020 they pushed it back to like
Yes.
July, right?
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah.
Just like, don't do this. It's like in a class, if a teacher like pushes back the deadline for the paper, it's like, you're being nice, but honestly, that means I'm just gonna wait until that fucking deadline. It's like I need the
Right.
Yeah.
need the deadline.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild. 2020, different time. And all we were doing was staying at home. So
Jesus. I officially submitted Alex's last day for daycare, the sheet, yesterday. And I was just like, how wild that 5 years have gone by so fast.
Yeah.
And more of it than not was post-pandemic.
wow.
The pandemic happened
That's
1 month.
Wow. Oh my.
1 month after he turned 2 years old. So
Holy shit.
all of 2, all of 3,
Oh my
all of
God.
4, and well, the first 4 months of 5.
That is wild. That's
That is
totally
wild.
Right?
crazy. Wow.
I know.
Crazy,
Goodness.
crazy.
My goodness.
Not that I'm counting down. I'm totally counting down.
No, that's fair. You're allowed to. I feel like, you know.
Yeah.
Are you daydreaming about what else that money's going to go to?
It's gonna go to Comic-Con and bills.
Well, hey,
The Comic-Con
there you go.
part sounds fun.
The Comic-Con part sounds fun. We usually use our tax return to pay for Comic-Con, and because we owed this year, I'm like, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, whatever. Adulting is so much fun.
It sucks real bad sometimes.
Sometimes it's fine though. It all
Yeah,
it
it doesn't
always
suck all the time. Just, you know, the money part.
Yeah, just sometimes. It'll all be fine. Whatever. Stupid daycare. Shandy, did you have a good anniversary?
Yeah, it was really fun. We went to Asheville for the weekend.
I hear great stuff about Asheville. Like,
Now
I
you've
think it's a
officially
really
been
good
to-
time.
You've officially been to Asheville before me.
That's what I thought. I was telling Frank, I was like, I think Colleen said she's never been here, which is crazy.
My parents have been. My sisters have been.
Colleen, we're
My
gonna have
aunt
so
and
much
her-
fun.
My aunt and her girlfriend went like 2 months ago, and when they were driving back from Key West, I still never been.
Wow. I was ready to like move there immediately. I love it. It's like a town after my heart.
Excited to go.
It's going to be so much fun. I have never seen that big of a concentration of restaurants, bars, and breweries.
That's their thing, the breweries, right?
The breweries.
The breweries everywhere, and they're all so cool. And it's so funny. It's like, okay, so in Carmel, like on the Monterey Peninsula, there's the little town of Carmel, and it's like this little town that's trying to be an art town. And I think it legitimately was like back in the day. And there's like tons and tons of restaurants. But it's like they're trying too hard to be like European, and there's also like so much money there that it's kind of gross.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's
And,
rich
like,
people trying.
It's rich people trying, and it's a lot of like tourist traps. There are legitimately good restaurants, but there are a lot too that are just like, okay, whatever. And I was like, well, Asheville is like the legit version of what they're trying to be.
Yeah.
It's so fun. Like all the breweries are so cool. You just it boggles the mind.
I have heard so many great things. There are like there's like multi geocaches and like that like take place where you have to like do a flight at like each brewery to like get to the thing. Like apparently there's so much there. I'm like dying to go. Jay officiated a fucking wedding there, remember? And like I still never been. I want to go so much.
We're gonna have so much fun. You're going to love it. I seriously like. I'm.
I think Shandy and I Shandy, Frank, Jay, and I are going to go see Love It or Leave It live in Asheville in October. Amanda, you guys are more than welcome to come. There's still tickets and it's general seating.
Yeah.
It's October 1st? You can fly right into the airport there, so you don't have to drive the 4 hours from where it's.
Let's see what's on the account. October 1st.
Is it? No,
Says
what is
I
it?
have
The 6th. It's the 6th.
I have to do it. Oh, the 6th. I was saying on the 1st, I have to do a
6th.
tub wash of my washing machine. So,
October 6th. We can grab you tickets if you guys want to come.
I will talk to Daniel. Because that's a long weekend.
It's a Friday. Yeah. It's
Indigenous Peoples Weekend. So,
oh my God, I hadn't even put that together.
You're right. It is Indigenous People Weekend.
Oh my God, that is
Daniel.
exciting. We should. I think we'll probably stay the whole weekend.
I'll talk to Daniel. You know, it's like he's not a big like podcast person, but like, you know, he's like politically minded.
Really fun.
Like, and
I think it's gonna be a good crowd. Fun.
Yeah. It'll be
so much fun.
John
to go
Lovett
out
crowd.
after. Yeah.
I don't think that will mean anything to Daniel, but it means something to me.
Yeah.
And I know Asheville would be a place he wants to go. So
it's it's on my top 3 list of like best places I've ever visited that I would like want to live in the US.
Wow. That's awesome.
High praise.
Yeah. Missoula, Flagstaff, Asheville. And we're kind of like, Frank and I were like, if we could move in a couple of years, like, would we go to Missoula or would we go to Asheville?
Asheville.
My ideal is like mid-sized city, like it's like 80 or 85,000, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, literally nature right there. That's the perfect combination for me. Lots of good breweries. But I thought Missoula had a lot of breweries. This was like next fucking level. It's insane. And we went to a couple of different restaurants and they were all really good and just like so interesting and funky. And it's just, the vibe is like Missoula, but kind of on steroids. It was so great. And then we did a little bit of the Blue Ridge Parkway and then did like a little hike. But we need to obviously go back and do, you know, like the whole, like the Great Smokies and so much.
So it's my understanding that if you hit up the Asheville and the Biltmore and all that,
want to do that too. Yes.
In the wintertime, it's actually
Christmas.
They go all out. And
like,
you have a Costco membership, Shandy. At Costco, every single year in North Carolina, they sell Biltmore tickets, as you know how they'll do like, go to movie tickets like $50 and you get $75 worth of tickets or something like that.
Oh,
They do something like that for that Biltmore's like showcase
perfect.
thing.
Excellent.
So be on the lookout out for that starting in like October, because they have those. If I ever see them, I'll take a picture for you.
Okay. Yeah, no, it was fucking great. Really, really loved it.
That's
well,
awesome.
This is very exciting.
Yes.
I'm very excited to potentially.
And I know it's a long ways away, but I'm like, we should maybe think about looking into hotels, because I'm just like,
yeah, we should, because it's clear. I don't think the people that are going to Asheville live in Asheville, and it's a long weekend. You're right. We should
I didn't even realize it was a long weekend, but that's fucking great, because we'll just stay the entire weekend.
Yes.
So
Which I assumed we were going to do anyway. I just didn't realize that.
Right, I just realized it's an extra day. Yeah.
Right. So then you can travel back on Monday. And
exactly. I thought it was going to be a Friday to Sunday situation, which is fine. But
it's fine. But we have to drive like 4 hours to get there.
Yeah.
No, this is good.
Is it 4 hours for you too?
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so excited that this might happen.
This is so much fun. I love them.
Yeah, we have no travel plans, on the calendar after August. So
I love this, especially since Amanda and I can't go to the meetup.
I know, which is just like it's still on my calendar, and like it's like I feel like the weekend, like it's just there. I'm just like,
but hey, Asheville, I'm so here.
Oh my God, this could be super fun.
Yeah, it'll be like crisp autumn weather,
and maybe we could go for a hike.
We most definitely should go for a hike. Yeah,
or at least go to the lookout points and have a picnic and drink wine.
Yeah.
We can do all of these things.
We can do all the things.
To a place where we can. Yeah.
Yeah. And Amanda, you should, if you go, you should definitely just save the 4-hour drive and just fly into Asheville.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. The hotels, if we can find something downtown, we were like right outside of downtown, which was fine, but I think it would be so much fun to stay like right in downtown. We kind of looked at some of them. A lot of them are really fucking expensive, like $400 a night. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
But we'll have to do some looking and try to find something.
Yeah, we can. And so we were going to go to Asheville in 2020 for our anniversary. That was when everyone in my office at the time, there was every single weekend in April. It was really funny. We figured it out that one of the 5 of us was going to be in Asheville. And it was really weird. Like just how like nobody was there at the same time. Everybody was there like sequentially. And then of course nobody ended up going. I remember looking at hotels there, and there were some at the time, more reasonable in that downtown area, but like the further you got from the Biltmore and like the closer you got to kind of like, so anyway, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We literally have 6 months, but we will do it beforehand.
Yes. And we like our hotel, sometimes we drove, but then also sometimes it was like a $7 Uber in.
Oh, that's not bad.
We're really close, but
you want to drink because you're going to Brewery Central.
Exactly. That's why I feel like it's just being downtown.
Did you go to Wicked Weed? I want to go to the Wicked Weed Brewery so bad. Is that there or is that in Boone? That might be in Boone.
There are actually 2 locations for Wicked Weed, and they're different. And we walked past the one like in downtown a couple of times, and then we got this recommendation to this other brewery from a server at this Spanish tapas restaurant, which was super cool. She gave us this recommendation to this other brewery that she likes, so we went to that, and it was a fucking great recommendation because it's really, really cool. But that was by the other Wicked Weed location that looked cooler. They had like a really awesome outdoor space, and we were gonna hit that up on the way back, but then we got distracted by like one of the other 50 million things.
That would be easy to do.
Yeah. Just like great shops too, and like lots of galleries, and it just so great. We didn't even go to the museum, like there's
that's awesome. Okay,
so much to go back for.
We'll figure it out. The only other thing that I really have is movie recommendations. I saw the Dungeons and Dragons movie and the Super Mario Brothers movie. The Dungeons and Dragons movie was super fun. I had a basic knowledge of Dungeons and Dragons, not a very in-depth one, and I thoroughly enjoyed the hell out of that movie. Nice. Super Mario Brothers was fun, definitely geared towards kids and nostalgic adults.
I feel like that's kind of like everything nowadays.
Yes, exactly.
Nostalgic adults for their childhood.
Like, I'm
Nostalgic
not gonna-
millennials.
Exactly. Just
I can't say
bleed
it
our
was like
generation dry.
Exactly. I can't say that it was a great movie, but it was a fun movie. Like they hit all of the points that like people who grew up playing the Super Mario Brothers different games, like, you know, they kind of like went down the checklist of things you had to include in the movie, and they did, and it was fun. Like when the Rainbow Road popped up, I was like, oh my god, I love the Rainbow Road.
Because to be fair, I don't think they were aiming to be a great movie.
Right.
I think
exactly.
they were like aiming to
Fair.
make money.
Yeah.
Which I think they did.
Yeah.
It was in like 15 theaters of our 16 theater movie. It wasn't really,
Wow.
but it was in a lot.
Gosh.
It was
Yeah.
a lot. But yeah, it was fun. Like I recommend it.
Nice.
Yeah, good times. But
Cool.
yeah, all right.
I finished the first season of Succession.
Succession.
Yeah, Frank and I are like, yeah.
Flying through.
Well, I don't know if
good.
it's flying, but yeah, one season down, and I wanted to text you, Amanda, last night, because I know, Colleen, you haven't started it yet. Correct?
I have not. No.
Okay, I wanted to text you last night, Amanda, but then I was like, just like save it for the podcast. It's fine. But when the end of season 1, holy fucking shit!
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how season 1 ends.
I'll text it to you.
Please do, because it's like I have like 2 storylines in my head. Because it's like we sort of did what you and Frank are doing, and just sort of like whizzed through like the first 2 seasons, and then watched season 3 in real time, and then obviously we're watching season 4 in real time. But so it's like season 1 and 2 kind of blur together.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah.
Is it the birthday party, or was it a birthday party?
No, but I just texted it to you.
Okay.
It was like, and
that was the first season.
That was the first season.
Oh god! So there are
actually
references, like it actually that those events get referenced quite a bit in like,
I would assume.
And like so it's sort of like, oh gosh, that feels like so long ago, but like, you know, the pandemic, it's like because it was freaking season 1. No wonder why it feels so long ago.
And
okay, all right.
Last night I had like a pretty vivid dream that I like started smoking again, and not like a cigarette when you're really drunk, like a smoking all day every day. And I have to wonder if
that was just coming
down
down from
like, I go to bed really stressed because of the season 1 finale of holy shit.
God,
I want to watch it. It's been on my mind all week. It's just the time doesn't work out.
It's so good. It's so good. And
well, it's like hour-long episodes. Yeah. We finished and we were both just kind of floored, and it was like, I really want to start season 2, but it is a full hour.
It really
and it was like, it was like 9:15, so I was like, well, I have to go to bed.
It is a one show a night kind of thing. It's like you want to binge it because it is such a like compelling and well crafted story, but like it's also like one of those shows that like it's best digested as individual meals. So it's like that's why I sort of love being able to watch like the past 2 seasons in real time and like getting 1 episode a week, because it does feel like back in the day when you watched a really great TV show and then you had like all week to digest it and to think about it and to like settle on it, and then it's like, and it was something to look forward to,
right?
It's like, oh boy, it's another Succession, like quick, let's finish doing the dishes, Succession starts in 20 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait for you to continue on your journey.
That was intense.
Yeah, it just gets more intense. It's just
man,
I don't know why. Like like
my
so
heart.
Compelling. These people are awful. These people are awful.
Yeah, and it's also excited. Just very, very believable.
You're selling this really well, both of you. No, truly, I'm excited.
And I would be nervous to like oversell something, because when you're really excited. And I don't think that's what this is gonna do. I think you're gonna be like, and especially when you get to the end of season 1, you're gonna be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I feel like it's like it's sort of grabbed like collective pop culture existence like for a reason, because it's just
Yeah.
like it's just like a well-made show. Like it has a real point of view, and the acting is so good, and the writing is
So
so good,
good.
and it's
Oh my
shot so
God.
beautifully, and it's just
So,
like
so good.
it's just a well
Yeah.
crafted piece of television, and it's like
Yeah.
it's so refreshing in that way. You're just like,
Yeah.
right,
And
we
I will
can
say,
make
like,
good stuff.
yeah, no, the cast is phenomenal, but I
Yeah,
do just have to say, like, Kendall's performance in that episode, it's
yeah,
just like it's astounding. I
yeah.
just like so
It's
good.
pretty mind blowing.
Really, really
Okay.
good. So anyway,
Okay.
whew.
Get on that shit, call.
Yes,
Get
I'll get
on
there. I'll
it.
get there. I'll get there. It's like number 1 on the list. You just have to find time
No,
because
it's
now we have
they're
Padre
long
games at
episodes.
night to add to the damn
Ugh,
list.
freaking baseball.
I know. I
Baseball
like
is
watching
back, and
baseball.
I'm like, whatever about it.
I would say
I like
this is
watching
like an
baseball.
upstairs downstairs. Oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
okay.
It's faster
Um,
though. I do hear that the new rules are really making
They
the game more
do.
enjoyable.
It is making it go quicker. I like the clock. I like some of the changes. Okay, so real quick before we move on, next the announcements for May. On May 9th, we'll be recording an episode talking about the movie and the book of Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. It's basically everything that we hoped Where the Crawdads Sings would be, but like it's not going to disappoint.
Right.
I'll say it.
Oh man,
People, let's all
really
like
shit
do
the
some
bed there.
copious Judy Bloom Googling. Let's make sure like nothing.
We good.
There's no
And
skeletons in that closet.
No skeletons. The Turfs tried to come for Judy Bloom this weekend, and just like they did for Margaret Atwater, and everybody recognized it. It was the same woman, and they were like, hold the fucking phone, bitch.
Said, no, thank you, ma'am.
No, thank you. And she was on that shit too. She was like, You didn't even quote me right, so fuck you. And then, in very exciting news, on May 11th, it's a Thursday, we're going to be recording with the Real Weird Sisters, our makeup episode. Woohoo!
Yay!
So that will be, let me pull up my calendar real quick. So the May 9th episode, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, will air on May 12th. And the Real Weird Sisters episode will air on either May 19th or May 26th, or maybe both if it's long enough to break it up into 2. I don't know. I make no guarantees. But the broadcasters in general are all taking collective vacation, that we will not be recording new episodes May 16th, May 23rd, or May 30th. But we will, of course, have the Real Weird Sisters episode out. Episode parentheses S question mark close parentheses out in that time. And then we will be back to record on June 6th. And of course, we're aiming to have our 7th birthday party on June 13th.
Woo-hoo.
Whoa.
So
that's crazy.
That is kind of crazy. So that is what we look like now. All right. On that note, let's take a quick break. If you have not watched Everything Everywhere All at Once, here's where you can dip out.
We'll see you next
from
week.
This point on, the feedback will all be related to Everything Everywhere All at Once. We won't do anything that's not. We'll save that for next week. Next week, we will actually be live for the patrons. We have to do a patron bonus episode. We'll do that from 8:30 to 9, and then right at 9, just like last time we did it, we will do a live patron episode. So stay tuned for that. If you're at the Hangout level patrons on April 25th, 9 o'clock, be there, be square. We'll be live for you guys. If you'd like to be a patron, patreon.com/JayandJack. And let me just go ahead now. And anybody that's not listening, thank you to the patrons that contribute a certain level, especially the ones, them, Maggie, Eckhart, Tack, Joanne, Ed. I did this all out of order, but you know what? It's crazy. I'm just doing this out of order now. Thank you guys so much. And without further ado, commercial break, and we will then get into our discussion on Everything Everywhere All at Once. All right, we're back. We're ready to talk about Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the movie? I know, Amanda, you said you've loved it. Shandy, I have not heard your opinion yet. What did you think?
I just literally watched it today before we recorded, and I loved it.
Spectacular.
Nice. It's very fresh.
I loved it. Very fresh. Lots of notes. Loved it.
Oh yes!
2 thumbs up.
Great.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell us. Go. You guys go. Because I always talk a lot and dominate these conversations. And I would like to add to what you have to say versus control the conversation this far. We watched it last night again.
Nice. I was not expecting it to be absolutely fucking hilarious.
And it's bonkers. It's
So
bonkers
funny.
and hilarious.
Yeah.
It's crazy and absurd, but it works. I am sorry. Hot dog fingers?
I love
I
hot
know.
dog fingers.
It's so weird. It's so weird. Then you're like, right. These are the same guys that made a movie about like a farting corpse. Like,
Yes.
right. Okay. There it
And
is.
then
Yep.
They play the piano with their feet.
I know. I love it.
Funny. So many things. It's so funny. Speaking of dildos, Joy smacking the cop with the huge dildos. I mean, it just so good. Yeah. The everything bagel.
Everything. I put everything on a bagel.
I know. I love that. I
Raccoon?
love.
Oh my god, Rick.
Oh, Ratatouille.
Ratatouille. Right, yeah. Ratatouille. They're like, I think it's a rat. No, it's raccoon. Ratatouille.
I know.
And then there's a fucking raccoon in his hat. Oh my goodness.
I think I told you guys this, but I thought the Daniels were brothers until the Academy Awards, in which I realized they were two gentlemen not
Both
related, named Daniel.
Yeah. First names, not yeah.
And I was like, this makes it even better.
Yep. Just two friends that happen to share a name.
Nice.
The kids came out last night at some point. Oh my god, they ended up not going to bed till 11 because they came out of their rooms at like 10 o'clock and watched the last hour of the movie with us. They had no fucking clue what was going on.
I mean, you could watch the whole movie up until that point and still not really have a clue what's going on.
Did they happen to see the butt plug jumping pad? Because that was another part where I was like,
Oh no, they didn't. The butt plug jumping pad is in the first half because it's everything and then everywhere and then all at once. It's broken into 3 parts.
Fucking funny.
The butt plug jumping pad is absolutely amazing. When you realize what he realizes what he has to do, and you realize what he realizes that he's going to do.
So funny. So I was not expecting the humor. That was absolutely great, and I loved it. And hashtag universe, and I cried at the end, and it was great. It was really great.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love the overall message of it. I think that okay, let me back up here because I've got everywhere, everything, all of the thoughts in my head at one time right now that I did not write down and I should have. Do you think that it's a generational thing? Because as we've seen so far, everybody that's a millennial and younger seems to love it, and anybody that is a Gen X or older is hit or miss.
I was thinking about that as I was watching it, and then I talked to Frank about it again, and he was like, no, I didn't say I didn't like it. I was just kind of like, oh, okay, and he like didn't understand why it won quite so many awards. But then he was like, I don't think he watched with the subtitles. Obviously, there were subtitles when they were speaking Chinese, but I don't think you
need the closed captioning.
Yeah, I don't think he closed captioned it. And so I don't know. I think he was open to like another go, like the idea of another go. So I don't know if we can put him as definitive. But I was trying to think like, what are the themes that are so generational that older people wouldn't like it?
I don't. Maybe it's because
I think it's the style of storytelling. Not even the style of storytelling. The style of filmmaking. Like the Daniels have a very specific point of view that's just like very, like it's quick-witted and it's absurd and it feels very chaotic. But then when you sort of peel that away, it's actually this very like emotional story at the very heart of it. Yeah. And so maybe it's like the packaging of it where like millennials and younger are already sort of conditioned to life
Used to that. Yeah.
and used to content and story being told to us in a faster pace, with like the dawn of TikTok, and like we just have like the way we consume has changed and has gotten faster and less linear and a little like I don't know how else to phrase it, but like I wonder if there is something there into why there's a bit of like an intergenerational like hit or miss to the story, because I don't know if it's the story itself. I think it's like how the story is packaged.
Well, and also I think that the overall theme of mother daughter and even father daughter acceptance is something that people in every generation have struggled with that. But I think the style of the way that it was presented and the storytelling is more something that is just happening currently within the millennials and younger, not that it hasn't happened generation upon generation. Does that make sense? Where just that and the particular like fighting back, the way that gosh, what's her name? The daughter. I'm blanking. Joy. Thank you. The way that it ends up being Joy fighting back. I think that that's more something that maybe I would say Gen X and younger are more open to taking their rage and pushing boundaries, or I'm sorry, setting boundaries, and kind of doing something like that, versus like where like our parents' generation, like the boomers, were still somewhat brought up with like, I don't know, like you don't challenge so much. I don't even know where I'm going with this thought,
but it's
I don't
also
know.
But if you sort of flip the script and you look at it from like, so this more than half of the leading characters in this film are over 50.
Yes. The dude that played the dad was on stage. He's like 99 years old or something crazy like that.
That's awesome.
I don't really know how old he is, but he's old. He's very old. He's in his 90s.
Yeah, and it's like you look at sort of the reverse side of the theme. Like, yes, it's sort of a intergenerational like parent-child story, but it's like it's also, at least from like the mother side of it, it's a story about letting go and like letting your child be who they're going to be and pursue their own path, and sort of recognizing, she just sort of see that like she, like her parents had to let her go to like pursue her, like they're, so in some ways
she didn't even put that all together, because all she was worried about was what her dad was going to think about her daughter's orientation, which was crazy, but
right. But it's like, and I think, and that's where I sort of get like hung up, where it's like, well, why don't you relate to this movie? Because it's like
exactly, that's like a universal.
So much of it is like,
yes, exactly,
it's centered around older characters in a way that like we don't always see in like a more mainstream film.
Yes.
Not that like, and I think it's kind of funny to call this movie mainstream because it is so out there, and like I think that is why it kind of captured like everyone's imagination in terms of like, the award circuit, that it just felt very like refreshing. But like even in that, like it is very refreshing to see, all of these characters that like, particularly for women in Hollywood, they write you off. You're like playing the mother of like a 26-year-old character at 40, so it's just like we sort of forget that women of a certain age still have a lot of depth of experience and can play these like complex, interesting characters. So it's like,
yes, if they would just write them for them.
Right. Yeah, and Michelle Yeoh is actually, they announced today that she's going to star in her own Star Trek spin-off series.
Oh, wow.
Get it, girl.
That's cool.
For the character that she played in season one of this other spin-offs. But so like she's definitely having a, she's breaking barriers and boundaries too.
At 60. Like,
yeah.
She's 60.
Yeah, she just turned 60, like within, like the past year. I think, because I think I only know that because I think she in one of her
One
many
of the many
acceptance speeches. She sort of mentioned and like talked about how, like winning her, her first round of really winning and being recognized for like by major awards at this, this age where like Hollywood is basically done with you as a lady.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's same with Jamie Lee Curtis too. I know there was a lot of controversy that people thought perhaps she didn't give the best performance and it was a career achievement award. But like I also can't fault that too, because maybe she wasn't better than the actress that played Joy, Stephanie Sue, but like
or Angela Bassett. Oh, my girl.
Or Angela Bassett. See, I didn't see Wakanda Forever, so that is actually on me. But I also can't argue like giving a same kind of career recognition award to same as whatever. But I personally think that everyone in this movie was spectacular because it does take a lot, because it as confusing as the movie may be. Think of what that script was like.
Like, oh my gosh! Like, how many times you have to read that script to really like get it and be on board?
Exactly. So, like, kudos to every single person that was acting in that movie that had to actually follow a plot point through different multiverses, like, and play different characters. Kudos to you, because that was hard. I'm assuming that was very hard.
And keeping track of which you are and like how to make them distinctively different. It's just it just looked like it was as fun to make as it was to watch.
Yes.
And that's always like a real treat, particularly if I get my ass to a movie theater and pay that money to sit my butt in a movie seat in a movie theater. It's like, it was just such a treat to see in a theater, because it's just like, it was enjoyable to watch and it looks like it was really enjoyable to make.
Yeah. And Ke Huy Quan also like so spectacular, like just the right mix of earnest and fearless and smart, and like just absolutely loved him. I feel like he deserved every single accolade that he got for
absolutely 100%
for the movie. I am beyond thrilled for him that he got this opportunity, which was his first major role in 20 years, and was able to take it this far, and like to the point where he was hugging Harrison Ford on stage when they won. I love that so much.
Yeah. That's so great.
Like, how handsome did he look with those like big glasses?
Oh, loves that look for him. Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
That was great.
Yeah. That's so handsome. From the Goonies. It's like, wow, cleans up good.
I would just say, I'm also just like, I really like stories about like different timelines. The whole idea of, if I would have done this instead of that, then how would my life end up? Like, I love that as just like a concept. And also, I couldn't help but think of, that Sylvia Plath, is it a poem maybe, with the branches, and there's all these different ways her life can go, and then she never chooses. So then you have to, at some point you have to choose. Like, I couldn't help but thinking of that too, with, how she kind of gets, especially like the first time she jumps to a different universe and gets so sort of like, caught up in like what could have been, and that seems so much better. But it's like, there's all these different paths you could take. And I think, as we get older, it's something I think honestly, about a lot is,
I think one of the reasons the movie resonated with me so much is that you have all these different timelines where she's a successful movie star, or I'm blanking on the other ones at the moment because I'm trying to pull them up.
A singer, a chef.
And at the end of the day, the Evelyn in our timeline realizes that is her best life.
Yeah.
And I always love stories like that. And when we first saw this movie, we saw it in January 2022 in theaters. And it reminded me, because it's such a family story at the heart of it, it reminded me of being like Encanto for grown-ups plus time travel.
Oh. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Where I was just like, oh
You're
wow, the
enough.
miracle was
Yeah.
you, Joy.
Yes. It was you. And we don't talk about Becky.
We don't talk
Talk
about
about
Becky.
Becky.
Also, can we talk about the fact that Jenny Slate is randomly in this fucking movie?
Sort of like who was she friends of? And they're like, hey, do you want to just like come in
Hey,
for a day
right?
and like shoot a couple scenes?
Like, I know she's one of those women who a lot of people in Hollywood, she dated Chris Evans for a long time. That she's one of those women in Hollywood that a lot of people talk very favorably about, that she's just like, you know, a fun person to be around, like a solid dude. But like, I had totally forgot she was in this movie, and then I'm watching her sling her dog around. And I'm just like, holy shit, I forgot you were like, why are you in this movie? It was cute when we were watching with the kids came in, and they again had no idea what was going on because they came in midway through. But I had forgotten.
The bell jar. Sorry.
No, the rocks. Zachary is able to read screen titles now.
Oh, that's great.
So he was reading the rocks, and I forgot.
Oh my god, the rocks were great. No,
I love the rocks. I forgot how much I love the rocks. It's so
that's
beautiful.
where I lost it. I just like, oh my gosh.
It's everything goes silent. It quiets the noise, and you're just reading it. And I love the rocks. Anyway, Shandy, what were you gonna say?
I'm like
the bell jar.
That's what I thought. It's like, you know, that Sylvia Plath thing. I think it's a poem.
Oh, okay.
The fucking bell. I had to say it. But yes, oh my god, the rocks were brilliant. I loved it.
I love that part so much. Yeah. What was your favorite timeline other than hot dog fingers? Because
hot dog fingers.
The fact that they're fucking lovers in hot dog fingers is even better. It's so funny. It's so funny.
I don't know if I have a favorite time. That might be it. It's just so good.
It's so good.
The Kung Fu one, just for the cinematic like beauty of it.
Yeah.
I kind of like the is she a singer? Is she an award winner, like in the pink dress or whatever, where they are forced to have the conversation, like in another lifetime, you know, we could have loved each other or whatever. I think that is such a pivotal moment for her to realize I have all this success and I'm famous and award winning, and I don't have this person that is my soulmate in some form. Even if it's not supposed to be lovers, you're still my person through my lives. And I really love that. And I love that timeline is kind of one of the ones that brings it together for her, the recognition.
The Kung Fu one.
Is that the Kung Fu one?
Yeah, she becomes like a famous Kung Fu, right? It's like in the alley, like after like she sneaks out of her premiere.
She's like in movies because she's a famous
okay. Yeah.
Artist.
I mean, I only watched it 24 hours ago. Again. Yeah,
well, because that's the thing. It's like, because I don't know, I've never seen a Kung Fu movie. Like, I know it's a whole genre, and so it's like I can't speak to how like authentic and true to like Kung Fu movies it is. But it's just like that timeline in particular. I'm just like, oh, they must really love Kung Fu because this is like it's just treated like with such reverence and respect, and from my outside opinion, and it just that timeline just. While I loved what they were talking about, and that whole sort of like. You know, you're my person kind of thing, but it's like it's also it just looked so beautiful.
Yeah,
it's just so pretty. It just like
the dress,
cinematic, and the dress, and then the smoky alley, and just what could have been. It's just like also like classic Hollywood glamour, and it's just it was just beautiful.
Exactly,
for the eyes and the soul, and
yes,
definitely, but also. Hot dog fingers.
But also hot dog fingers.
I love that they're in love in hot dog fingers. I think that's so funny.
Yeah.
Because it just shows how intertwined, like, that whole concept that what is it called? I know we've talked about it on here before, where you just have like family trees of like spirits, souls that you travel with that show up in different, I forget the exact name. I know we've talked about it on here before, but it's the theory that you travel in soul groups. And, in my next life, Shandy, we could be married, and Amanda, you could be my daughter. like
Cool.
just and like Jay could be my
That.
brother. Like there's just, you travel with a group of souls throughout your existence until you each kind of fulfill your purpose, and it's just that whole theory of just
Sounds like The Good Place.
oh exactly
Or maybe the basis
Or-
for the Daniels next movie, because
yes
clearly
or
they
Lost.
Sure,
Still
why
haven't
not?
seen, but okay.
Yeah, maybe
I like
someday.
that.
Someday maybe
Yeah.
I'll get back to that. We'll see.
Yeah, but
Well,
no, it's
and
just
so
that
her
whole thing. I love that. I love. Oh, not
the
not
first time
necessary.
the first time that she needed to universe jump, blanking on what they call it. The thing that she was supposed to do was tell Jamie Lee Curtis that she loved her and mean it.
Oh,
It's
that's
like,
right.
yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yes, because
She
in
did
another
love it.
timeline.
Yeah. It's just the most like, crazy, like improbable thing. But then it's like, oh, actually,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's all connected. Loved it.
Okay.
So, real quick, to keep the plot details under wraps before the trailer came out, the IMDb synopsis for the movie read, "It's about a 55-year-old Chinese woman trying to finish her taxes."
Love it.
Yeah.
Love that.
Which I guess technically is very true.
Love that description. For her.
We're all
That's
trying
great.
to finish our taxes.
Yeah.
This James Hong, who is the dad, he was 91 years old during filming.
Nice.
He had 5 stand-ins to perform the various action scenes that he was in.
Nice.
One stand-in volunteered to shave his head just for the honor of doubling him,
Wow.
which I think is really cool.
That's amazing.
The scene where Evelyn and Jobu become rocks was originally going to be dialogue, like voiced dialogue, but Michelle Yao is the one who suggested that they just subtitle it,
that's
which was
awesome.
brilliant because I
It was
think
so
perfect.
powerful.
Yeah.
the silence is what so
Totally.
powerful of it.
Mhm.
And in a movie where half of it is subtitled anyway, like it really, yeah.
Yeah, because I think it would have
that.
cheesed it up in a way that would have taken away its emotional core. It's like when those two rocks are like edging towards each other. It's like, stay away.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It would have just been too funny if you heard the voices.
Yeah.
So in separate interviews, Michelle Yao and Stephanie Sue revealed that the Rock universe was both of their favorite ones, even though neither of them are seen or heard. What else? I'm reading some facts from IMDb right now.
Nice.
Ki-hoi Kwan delivers a reference to his Indiana Jones character, Short Round, which, by the way, the dork community, the geek community is calling for. They're like, why, if you're going to remake Indiana Jones, why are you going to shove people in like Shia LaBeouf who don't belong there when you have Short Round's character right there, who is clearly and the actor is clearly capable of doing stunts and beloved anyway in a terrible movie. They still love the character. Like, why not just make him learn from Indy and like go off on his own? Which I think super on board with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he references the character when yelling to Evelyn to snap out of it.
What does he say?
The scene plays out exactly the same way in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom when Indy's under a spell.
Oh,
so
shit.
I guess he does the exact same blocking.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yes, and I told Jay he doesn't. So Temple of Doom is a little bit dark. Yeah, they do pull a heart out, beating and all. From the test.
That stands out to me from watching it as a child.
Jay has never rewatched it from childhood days. I've rewatched it once, but I was still living on Long Island, so it has to have been at least 15 years since I've seen it. And I was telling Jay how I was like, we've never rewatched it. We rewatch the first and the third movies every single Christmas time. It's part of our thing with what the fuck is the Bruce Willis movie? With
Die Hard.
Die Hard. Like, I think we need to rewatch this. And he's like, I don't know if I can do it. So I might just rewatch it by myself. But
yeah.
And then report back to him.
And then report
if he can. Maybe it's more doable than he's remembering. But yeah.
This next fact I have seen several times. So the lead role, the Daniels originally wrote it with Jackie Chan in mind. They ultimately changed it to a woman to make the husband-wife relationship more convincing. What did you guys feel about the whole relationship between the two of them to begin with? Because he's portrayed in her point of view as such like a pushover, and then you find out early on that he's actually planning to file for divorce because he realizes how toxic their relationship has become. And then you find out that the relationship with Joy has become so toxic. And I also think that like it's kind of beautiful. This whole experience kind of just brought her back to what really matters in life. Did you guys get upset when the first universe, what's his face, ended up dying? It happened so early, and you were like,
Right.
"Oh my god!"
If I was upset, I was sort of like, "Oh, that's sad."
Yeah. I kind
I
of
don't
knew
think
that
I
it
was like
wasn't
emotionally,
like
yeah.
it wasn't the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I
how do
liked
you-
their relationship though. I have to say also, I just like on a personal note, I mean, I guess this is all personal notes, but
Yes.
I really enjoyed the way that they talk to each other. It, like specifically what I mean by that is just the language, the actual language that they use. So I was like in a couple that uses like two languages, I can say that's exactly how Frank and I talk to each other, where it's like because you can tell from listening to the Chinese, and then there'll be like English words here and there, and then like the next sentence is in English, and then it's and like that's very authentic. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
That's interesting perspective. Yeah,
that is awesome perspective, actually.
yeah, it's like only communicating in one language. It's like, yeah, I would.
And occasionally they switch on purpose so that somebody else, like there's a time where they like switch to English so that the grandpa won't understand because they're been like talking about the divorce stuff, and it's just very very true to life.
Fun fact, in an interview, Daniel Radcliffe said that he had been approached by the Daniels to appear in the film, but had a scheduling conflict and he had to turn it down. He was in that Swiss Army Man movie, which I believe
he played the farting corpse.
Yes. Okay. Because we talked about this before. And he stated that the Daniels are probably the only people in the world that I would have said yes to doing a movie without even seeing the script.
Wow. Well, and I mean, it's like only Daniels. So,
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's right. It would have been the Triple Daniels.
The Triple Daniels. The Danielses.
One of the Daniels said that the first time Jamie Lee Curtis ever saw the movie was at the Austin, Texas premiere, and she was backstage and she looked at him. She was bawling, like just crying, and said, "Okay, I finally understand the movie." And he said to me, that was incredible just to have someone like her be the first person that I talked to after this movie. A movie who's a veteran who has done this so many times and seen the process so many times, and to see her shook was incredible.
Wow.
Which I get it. That just goes to show we were talking about, like, kudos to the people that did this script without even understanding the whole script.
Right. Well, and just like to them as like filmmakers, that like these actors just put such infinite trust in them to be like, okay, like I don't think I get the vision, but like I trust you that you get the vision and that like you're gonna see it through and it's gonna be something really remarkable.
Yes.
And like that's really powerful.
Yeah. Okay, and then I guess one more thing. Do you guys love the fact that Ke Huy Quan's lawyer that negotiated this movie for him is Jeff Cohen, who played Chunk in The Goonies?
Yes. 100%. Yes.
Also, side
all y'all
note,
with your short round thing, he is data to me through and through, and
data through and through.
And you can't convince me otherwise. And Goonies never say die.
Although I think I'm contractually obligated to remind everybody about the rumors that the very first NT lawyer from Crazy Days and Nights was Jeff Cohen. It's rumored that he. So the blog Crazy Days and Nights from 100 years ago. It's since become like a crazy Russia propaganda site. But it's rumored that the man who was an entertainment lawyer who started the blog back in the day, who was good friends with actresses and actors from the 80s and 90s that originally were guest hosts, that the very first Enty lawyer was Jeff Cohen, and that is a very long rumor. I don't think he's still behind it, but that was 15 years ago. He was the person that was rumored to be behind it.
I don't know what that blog is, so I don't.
Oh, I used to read it.
Yeah, same.
15 years ago, I used to read it every single day, and then it became crazy, and I stopped reading it.
It was throwing up, and then everybody's throwing up on each other. It was terrible.
Okay.
Come live with me now, Chunk. I'm gonna be your family.
Any last thoughts? Oh, by the way, they filmed this movie in only 38 days.
Wow.
Which is fucking wild because it's a 3-hour movie that is very complicated.
It's so fun.
But also, like, they're a testament as a director that you know, because I feel like a lot of times movies just get wasted just doing like multiple takes because they don't know what they want. And it's like that they were able to just be like, yep, we got it in the can. Let's next.
Yeah.
Which means they probably didn't leave a ton on the cutting room floor, which is like, that's remarkable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, when I first looked it up to see how long it was today, I kind of started to panic when I saw it was 2 hours and like 19 minutes. But once I finally like started watching it, it's worth the 2 hours and 19 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that is very long.
Totally agree. Yes. Do you know Stephanie Sue auditioned for the role with the bagel monologue?
Interesting.
Okay, and that's all I've got. There's a gazillion more, but I picked out the best ones that I saw. We have some feedback, so let's hear what everybody else has to say. Let's start with a voicemail from Greg, and then we have an email from Kayla and an email from Matt, and they both have the exact same titles, which is very funny.
So they do.
I feel like I'm in the all at once phase of this podcast.
Right.
So let's hear what Greg had to say. Here we go.
Hey, broads, it's Greg. I'm just calling you with a quick voicemail. I'm currently rewatching Everything Everywhere All at Once to prepare for the pod this week. I have seen it before, but I'm going to try to get you more feedback, but I wanted to call you real quick with just one thing. I forgot that this movie has one of the things that makes me cringe more than anything else in movies. Pretty much out of anything else. And there's probably a couple exceptions, but the thing I'm talking about, of course, is when King Kong, oh man, I can't remember his name. I can't remember his character's name. But when he gives himself a paper cut so that he can jump. And that was rough. Notion of flinging that paper through between his fingers and giving us paper cuts.
Very true.
Very rough.
Pretty much
Wait, what did he say?
Ever seen in movies. Anytime I see that.
Hold on, let me pause it. Talked about the paper cut.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was
very hard to watch. Full disclosure, I didn't watch all of those.
That's fair.
I had to look away.
Watch the butt plug scene. Didn't watch the paper cut.
Yeah. That tracks. I understand.
I got a paper cut today from trying to open a package, and it also sucked. Okay, let's resume the voicemail. Sorry.
Which honestly isn't often, but I think it's one of the Jackass movies probably had it. But anytime I see that, I can feel it in my bones how much that's just sticky. It hits my soul. I don't know why. It just really gets to me. But yeah, so I'm gonna get back to the movie because I paused to give you a quick call, and I'll try to get you some more feedback later. Bye.
I'm glad that you called, Greg. That was wild. I forgot about that scene. I do have to just add, on a totally unrelated note, you know, when you look at like the Google calls, they like transcribe the calls. And for Greg's, he started out saying, "Hey, broads," but the Google transcribed it as "Hey, bros."
Hey, bros.
Which is like, wow, that's like the exact literal opposite. But anyway, yeah.
But cool.
Yeah.
Cool. The laundromat that they used in this movie was used in a scene in season 4, episode 1 episode of Moonlighting. I'm just gonna randomly intersperse fun facts
Okay.
in between things, because why not? Okay, so moving on, we have an email from Kayla.
All right. So Kayla writes in EEAAO feedback.
It's like E-I-E-I-O. And on this farm there was a
Old
kung
Nick
fu
Evelyn.
movie.
Old Nick Evelyn had a laundromat.
There was a paper cut. E-I-E-I-O.
Owie, owie, ow.
There it is. That's a joke. Found it.
All right. Kayla writes in, hello, broads. Where do I even begin with this movie? I love it so goddamn much. I've watched it countless times and it never gets old. It has easily become one of my fave movies of all time. Said in Stefan voice from SNL,
This movie has everything. Parallel universes, diversity in cast and crew, awesome costumes, adventure, romance, queerness, comedy, hot dog fingers, awesome makeup, and everything bagel. Rocks. Hold on, I gotta do my Cersei for that. Rocks. Googly eyes, a Ratatouille reference, butt plug awards, and even a heartwarming ending. That was a terrible Stefan voice, but it was the best I could do.
Yeah.
Hey.
Of the three of us, that was the best performance we were going with.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
But yes, I agree on all of that. And the hot dog fingers, it's like you never knew your life needed hot dog fingers until you watched
It's so
this
fucking
movie.
great. It's
Yeah.
so
It's
great.
really.
Kayla continues, but for real, I feel like this movie really does have something for everyone. And I think you are right, Colleen, that this is definitely a generational movie, since I think a lot of the topics tackled in this movie, people over a certain age may not relate to as much. The fact that they are able to tackle a bunch of deep issues while using this sci-fi parallel universe and do it so well is just... I related big time to Joy's character with her queerness not being fully accepted by her parents and how they like to pretend it doesn't exist or add gender norms to her and Becky's relationship. Also took my parents a long time to come to terms with it as well and ultimately accept me for who I am. I bawl like a baby during the scene with Evelyn and Joy having their heart-to-heart at the end.
I also
just
like that. Sorry, I also like that it's not like it's neat. It's wrapped up, but it's not neatly wrapped up.
yeah,
Mm.
Like they still have work
Yeah,
to do, and
yeah,
you know
yeah.
that, and I
Yes.
like that.
yes,
That's actually
yeah.
realistic to
Agreed.
me.
Yes, 100%.
Agreed.
Sorry. Okay.
No problem. Kayla continues. Also, just the small family unit dynamics, wanting validation from your parents, family business struggles, only child pressures really hit home for me too. Also thought that the use of all the different parallel universes was super well done and how they all added something to even the character development or the plot. And then the fact that they were all used in the final quote-unquote battle and scenes without feeling forced was great. As a geology major, my fave was the rocks one. Haha. Also, all the different things someone would have to do to access powers from a specific universe was just hilarious, especially the butt plug one, of course. Haha. I could go on and on about this movie, but I think those are the biggest points I wanted to make. 10 stars out of 5. Here are my favorite quotes.
Yes, this first one I pulled
Yeah.
aside too. Actually,
Yep, same here. The only thing I do know is that we have to be kind. Please be kind, especially when we don't know what's going on. From Waymond. And from Evelyn, you are not unlovable. There's always something to love. Even in a stupid, stupid universe where we have hot dogs for fingers, we get very good with our feet. Just
Love
be a
that.
rock, Kayla. Oh, yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I do love that kindness quote. I pulled it yesterday and totally forgot that I did. So thank you for the
Oh.
reminder.
It's a good one.
Yeah. It reminds me, anytime somebody says to be kind, it always reminds me of remember when Jay Leno came back and forced Conan out of the Tonight Show, and his monologue when he left was, in a world you can be anything, be kind, or whatever it was, something like that. He was like, just remember to be kind. And it's always like struck me as very good advice to we all want to be good people, so just be kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another one that he says, sort of on the same vein, is that I noted down was, when I choose to see the good side of things, I'm not being naive. It's strategic and necessary. It's how I've learned to survive through everything, which I thought was nice too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
So good.
Thank
you for that email, Kayla. We super appreciate it.
Indeed.
I think we answered as we went along. Same as we tend to do sometimes. We have one more email, this time from Matt.
Yes, and shockingly enough, same email title, EEIEIO feedback. Too late to spell. Hey, broads. While I don't know Shandy's opinion on EIEIO, everything, the movie, yet, obviously. I know we will be much more simpatico than last month's now and then disagreement.
Go fuck yourself for that one.
At least 2 out of 3 this time.
Hey, and 3 out of 3. Turns out 3 out of 3.
Yeah. I finished my 4th watch for your show and tax day, which was much less eventful for me than the people in the film.
You're here.
Yeah. So you could say I enjoyed the film quite a bit.
4.
It was my second favorite film of last year, behind
RRR.
RRR.
What's RRR?
What does RRR stand for?
What is RRR?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll figure it out. Don't worry, I'll shout it out. I'll shout it out when I figure it out.
It's the bell jar. The bell jar.
Every bell, every jar, all at once.
Yes,
Ringing.
I love that.
While the maximalism may be too much for some viewers, I found it a blast. When you call a movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, it should be big. We get family drama, surreal comedy, martial arts, love, philosophy, and more in 140 minutes. I wonder if the people at Marvel were annoyed that this little movie did more with the concept of multiverses than all of Phase 4, and with a fraction of the budget. Granted, they have much bigger fish to fry these days. You can really see them throwing every idea they had on the screen, and that it works is pretty impressive.
RRR. Okay, you guys, we're gonna die when I say this, but
okay,
it's a movie called RRR, and now I remember us actually. He recommended it, and we had the exact same conversation that I edited out once.
Oh no!
About what RRR was.
It's actually just called RRR.
Yes,
the movie for people that hate New Englanders. Exhausted by the time I get to the second R.
But as soon as I Googled it, it showed that I had clicked on it once before, and I was like, "Oh shit, we talked about this before."
Well then.
Wow.
Okay.
That's good.
Sorry.
Cool.
Also,
Great talk.
yeah.
Out there.
The Marvel as somebody that watches all the Marvel movies, except I've gotten fatigued lately that I haven't seen Wakanda Forever or Ant-Man 2 or maybe another one that's come out. Yeah, I'm getting tired of it too. So great job, Daniels.
It's too much. We need an alternative. So thank you. Okay. And even with the gimmicks and deluge of absurd stuff, it ultimately is this story of a woman connecting with her husband and daughter while also trying to find meaning against nihilism. Remove the multiverse stuff, and this story could play out in a realistic setting. Granted, the nonstop nature of the film is kind of the point to show the chaos of life. I agree with that. I'm also happy this movie did so well during award season. I
It did.
doubt when they made this film, they were thinking this was going to get Oscar gold. It's the kind of refreshing against the typical Oscar bait. Yeah. I guess we need to have someone take a flying leap into a butt plug in the next big war flick.
Man, butt plugs are real big.
Yeah, it really resonated with the audience. I mean,
Maybe we should just call this every butt, every plug all at once.
So good.
oh my goodness.
I thought every bell, every jar was good, but you guys are real hot for the butt plugs.
There's a plug for every butt.
I'm gonna wake Zachary up. I'm laughing so loudly. He's right above me.
Oh my god, okay. Oh boy, where was I? Where was I? All right. However,
Oh, I suddenly have to pee so bad.
I know, me too.
Okay.
I'm trying not to make myself laugh.
Okay.
However, while I liked Jamie Lee Curtis, I would have rather given Best Supporting Actress to Stephanie Hugh or Angela Bassett for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Hugh's character has a lot more of an arc. I agree. Not to say Curtis does a bad job by any stretch. It's also cool to have the first Asian identifying actress win Best Actress. And of course, Ki Hun Kwan's award junket was a delight. Yes.
That man is a delight.
Just a walking delight. Yao is fantastic, and this role lets her use all her strengths as a performer. Colleen probably mentioned originally the role was gender swapped and would star Jackie Chan.
I did. Yes.
Colleen
She
sure
did.
did.
You have our number. She brings it, whether it's her martial arts skills to the dramatic interplay with her and her family. It was also nice to see this movie become the sleeper hit of the year in its theatrical run. Movies have been trying to get back to pre-COVID levels, and something like this was a big sell for people sick of remakes, sequels, and reboots. Yes, that's 100. I totally agree with that. It's like I remember seeing it like in theaters over the summer and being like, I don't what? I hear that's really good. And then it's like
Yeah.
all of a sudden it took off and I was like, oh crap, I have to go see this movie.
I remember discussing it with you.
Yeah, indeed.
On here.
Indeed. Probably indeed. Well, you and many others.
I am so happy that you both liked it. Like, I am so happy because I know it's a weird movie, and I know that weird movies aren't for everyone. So, yeah.
But I hopefully, this movie shows that like weird movies are for a lot of people, though.
Yeah,
That a good story is a good story, no matter how weird it gets.
Exactly. Every butt, every plug, all at once.
Yeah, I'm telling
Apparently.
you, we all got our kinks. Where did I leave off? Okay. This film would make a great double feature with a film you talked about last year, Turning Red.
Yeah, I had that thought too. Mother-daughter relationship.
Yeah. Both are about a relationship between an Asian mother and daughter. Or just, a mother and daughter. They also both have climaxes revolving around portals and whether to step through them. Yes. Plus, hey, it's that guy, James Hwang, as a supporting role in each.
Wait, James Hwang has a role in Turning Red? That's the dude that plays the dad. The 90.
Right. Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah. But I can't tell you who he played. I just remember like when you see sort of, red carpet photos of like all the voice actors from Turning Red. It's like I do remember seeing him there, but I couldn't tell you what character he played in the movie.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
Yeah. I should probably also mention the problematic part of the film. I know some people were offended by Jenny Slate's character being referred to and originally credited as Big Nose.
Yes, because that's very anti-Semitic.
Yes. Her credit was changed to Debbie the dog mom for home video. Oh, home video. No one ever says home video anymore. What a fun phrase.
What a
And
fun
be
phrase.
and being a Jewish princess stereotype. I know Slate said she wasn't offended, and as someone who isn't Jewish, I can't really speak much aside from agreeing that it would have been nice to include something that humanized her, like the scene where Evelyn was helping her adversaries in the end.
Yeah, that just leads me to believe more that she was just doing that as a favor to somebody.
Yeah, that she was just like friends with one of the Daniels, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to just like come in and just like play this sort of weird character and just it's a couple days,
Yeah, and
it'll
we
just be like
know,
easy."
and we all know Jenny Slate is always up to play a weird character.
Indeed,
It is like her bread and butter.
Yes, indeed. Well, I'll cut myself off here. Look forward to hearing what Shandy thought and the and the conversation the three of you have. Or at least Colleen can share her favorite versions of the "in another life I would have really liked just doing laundry and taxes with you" meme. Matt. P.S. Some trivia. Michelle Yao was once married to a man who is named, and I'm not joking, Sir Dixon Poon.
Every
Whoa.
dick, every son, every poon all at once. Oh my god.
Sir.
Hug for every poon.
I did not know that, and that is amazing. So thank you for that.
I'm glad that we were more in agreement this time, Matt.
Me too.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
Yeah.
And honestly, there's no more perfect line for me than the original "In Another Life." I would have really loved just doing laundry and taxes with you because it's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful movie. The end. Like, it's crazy. It's fucking wild. Like, but at the end of the day, it's just so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when you peel away all the absurdity and the wildness, it's just like a really emotional, relatable story.
And I think part of the fact that makes it so relatable is that when you are spiraling out of control and your life feels like it's kind of, just out of control in general, you kind of, I don't know if maybe not everybody can relate to this, but like you kind of feel like your mind is in everywhere and everything, and like it doesn't quiet down and you're in a million places. And that also is something that, to me, somebody who has, like anxiety problems or whatever, like I also related to that very much. So like, even though I'm not time jumping to different, multiverses of myself, like just to have so much noise going on that you have to figure out how to quiet it, to figure out what is important and what matters and what doesn't matter, and what is especially matters and is important in terms of your children who have all this other noise and stressors going on. Like, it actually, I found that to be incredibly relatable and incredibly poignant. Like, just we've all been there in some form or another. So yeah, I don't know. I really like this movie.
It was really great.
It was a good one.
And also there are hot dog fingers.
And there's hot dog fingers. And they play piano with their feet. And it's wonderful.
Very good.
And just one thing for Matt was saying, when you were talking about just in general, like they probably did not set out to make an award-winning movie like this. It's funny you say that, because when we drove to New York for Easter, we were listening to the episode of the Blank Check podcast that was talking about Danny Boyle's Slumdog Millionaire, and how the studios originally passed on that movie and they wanted to send it direct to video. And then whatever studio ended up buying it, and of course, and ended up being the Academy Award winner for that year. So that reminded me of that, how sometimes you make this little thing, you do this little thing that you don't think is going to be a big deal, and it catches on. And I feel like that is also a very big theme in this movie, that every little ripple in the universe of something that you do, you don't know what effect that will have in the overall scheme of your life or somebody else's life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's great.
And just as like an artist, like just make the shit that like appeals to you and the art you want to make, and not thinking about like this is going to win
Yeah.
awards. It's like when you chase after the Oscar, you know, as we've sort of seen now in the past couple of iterations, like these sort of Oscar bait type movies don't end up winning. Like the sleeper film ends up coming through and just like capturing people's imaginations. Because yeah, we're tired of like the same old moviegoers are tired of the same old Marvel movies and crap we've been
And
seeing
I
for forever.
love
If you're
the
gonna
fuck
put
out
on
of
real
it.
pants and go to a movie theater, you want it to be worth your 2 hours
Yeah.
of your life.
All right. Any last thoughts? Thank you, everybody that submitted feedback to us. Loved talking about this movie. Had a wonderful time watching it again. Wonderful time talking about it. Great time watching my children try to read rock subtitles.
So good.
Oh dear.
And we're like, why is there a raccoon that they're chasing? And I was like, don't worry about it.
Ratatouille.
Raccacoonie is like also the best because she's such an asshole, and then all of a sudden she like is like, you know what, I don't want to be an asshole anymore, which is like Evelyn in our timeline. But yeah, wonderful movie. Very glad we watched it, talked about it. Thank you guys so much. Any last thoughts? Otherwise, I'm going to thank people again.
Thank
Do
you.
it.
All right. Well, we will see you all next week, and we will get your feedback in for Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Super excited to watch that. Yay. If you have any feedback about this episode or in general, the broadcasters3@gmail.com, or give us a call 331-276-2373. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it. I thanked the patrons earlier. Again, if you'd like to be a patron, patreon.com/JayandJack. Check out the other shows on the network. Ramblecast After Dark and Survivor with Jamie, Jack, and Colleen are going on right now. And yeah, I think that's about it. Excited to talk to everybody next week. We'll see the patrons live at 9:00 next week, April 25th. On that note, my name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
Peace out, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.